Do you ever have that one game that takes you straight back to your childhood? For me, that game is Pilotwings on the Super Nintendo. I remember back when I was 12 years old when I played this game Sunday afternoons while the sky was full with grey clouds outside. But I was in my room, at the front of my CRT television, this SNES controller was in my hand, and I was flying through the skies, listening to the relaxing music of the game. It was a beautiful escape into this simple, yet mesmerizing world. Even today, firing Pilotwings gives me that same warm feeling, and in this video I would like to take you to the skies for a flight. Hello my fellow gamers out there, my name is Mr. Zosta, welcome on my channel where we celebrate the golden era of gaming. Released in 1990, Pilotwings was one of the earlier games of the SNES, showing off the console's famous Mode 7 graphics. At its core, it's a flight simulation game where you train to earn different pilot licenses by mastering 4 different flight types. What really makes Pilotwings stand out for me isn't just the gameplay, it's the atmosphere. The moment you take off, you're met with this calming soundtrack, soft blue skies, or beautiful sunsets, or even an overcast sky. All these are combined with a sense of total freedom. It's not a high adrenaline experience like an action game. Instead, it's the kind of game you can sit back, relax, and just enjoy the ride. And that's exactly what I did when I was a kid. Sunday afternoons, no school, no worries, just me, my SNES, and the endless flying in Pilotwings. The main goal of Pilotwings is to earn different pilot licenses, mastering 4 different flight types. You need to skydive, fly around in a rocket belt, glide around in a hang glider, and maneuver with a light plane. No, I won't pretend that I was a pro at this game back then. Some of the stages could be quite challenging, and I definitely crashed more times than I care to admit. But that was part of the fun, trying again, improving little by little, and finally nailing that perfect landing. And let's be honest, even failing in Pilotwings is kind of fun, as long as you don't mind watching your instructor shake their head in disappointment. Sometimes I remember I made things as worse as possible just to see how the instructors would react. Their facial expressions and comments made me laugh sometimes. Instead of having just certain points what you need to achieve, the comments of your instructor gives the game a bit of personality. But I enjoyed this game, and even if you mess up a flight, you are not going to be pissed off and rage quit, or it was just me who managed to stay calm. And now let's see the gameplay mechanics in detail. Let's start with the taking off. When beginning a flight, you are positioned on the runway or helipad, ready to take off. You start by holding down the acceleration button, it's normally the B button on the SNES controller, to gain speed. In the light plane, once you reach the correct speed, you gently pull back on the D-pad to lift off into the sky. Timing is key, you don't want to pull up too early or you stall and lose altitude. For the rocket belt or jetpack, you take off by pressing the thrust button and you must balance your movement carefully to avoid drifting too far in one direction. This is easier said than done. Taking off is not a real challenge, but landing is. One of the most common challenges in Pilotwings is flying through rings. They are scattered in the sky or just placed on the ground. These are essential for earning points and improving flight control skills. Here, precision is what really matters. You need to align your aircraft properly with the ring's center. Approaching at an odd angle or too fast can make you miss it. Also, the altitude is important. The rings may be placed at different heights, and these are required careful altitude adjustment using gentle up and down controls. Also the wind. Some missions add wind resistance, meaning you may have to correct your course mid-flight. Sometimes this can be a real pain. And if you fly through the rings perfectly, this increases your score with bonus points for good alignment. I have to say that landing is one of the trickiest parts of the game and requires precision, control and proper speed management. When you approach the landing zone, you must gradually descend while maintaining a steady speed. Now, as you can see, I failed to do that. Also, you have to maintain your speed. Coming in too fast can result in a crash, while being too slow may cause a stall before reaching the ground. And you have to be careful for your angle and positioning. In the light plane, you aim for a smooth glide path, keeping your nose slightly up but not too steep. In the rocket belt, you must carefully descend onto the landing pad, managing thrust to prevent bouncing. For the skydiving parachute missions, you must control your descent with mid-air movements and deploy your parachute at the right moment to land accurately on the target. Also, you can get a landing bonus for a perfect landing in the center of the runway of... Careful. Ah, that's it. So if you manage to make a perfect landing in the center of the runway or any target, this earns you maximum points, while rough or off-target landings deducts points. You see? I just made a perfect landing on this platform. There are 2 helicopter stages in the game where you have to shoot anti-air turrets and eventually land on a base to rescue some hostages. There's a day and nighttime mission. They are quite similar. It is interesting that they included these 2 stages in the game, as the gameplay is completely different from the normal stages where you have to earn your licenses. I do not mind playing these stages, but it feels a bit unnecessary to have these more action-packed stages in my opinion. So, does Pilotwings still holds up today? Absolutely. Sure, by modern standards it's a simple game, but that's also part of its charm. It's a game that doesn't rush you, doesn't stress you out, it just invites you to enjoy the experience. Probably nostalgia plays a big factor in my opinion, but now, as I replayed the game, I still had a great time. Whether you're playing it for nostalgia or just trying it for the first time, it's one of those games that feels like a warm hug from the past. I know it sounds bad, but it is what it is. The beauty of Pilotwings is how it balances challenge and cozy gameplay. Every mission needs skill, patience and control, making even the simple act of flying through rings or landing feel rewarding. Oh fucking no, not like now. So, this is my experience with Pilotwings on the SNES, one of my most cherished childhood games. If you played it, let me know your memories in the comments, and if you never tried it before, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like and subscribe for more retro gaming content. Until next time, happy flying!